Hi everyone, I hope that you guys are doing fine. I hope you had a good day, and today we'll be having quotations and dialogue. I'm just gonna share my screen first off. Okay, so first you just need to log in using the aplusstudent.com. Make sure you log in with your email and password, and then you can click on your name. Then we're off to language art grade 6. And then we pick the topic that we're gonna have, which is quotations and dialogue. So we have one lesson under quotations and dialogue, which is formatting quotations and dialogue. So we'll just go through the explanation first. Um, Use quotation marks around a direct quotation from a speaker or a written source. So you're gonna use quotation around a direct quotation from a speaker. So that is maybe the speaker is making it's making a statement, but you need to put the statement in quotation. So that is like the direct quotation from a speaker or written source. A direct quotation can be written in several ways. Okay, so the quotation can come after the speaker tag. So now direct quotation can be written in different ways. It can come after the speaker tag. The speaker declared. So just like this now, this is the speaker's tag. Hi everyone, and the chart. The speaker declared, "We can succeed by working together." Okay, so that is the speaker saying something, and you need to start it off with a quotation. So, yeah, and then he demanded, "Who is there?" He demanded, "Who is there?" So, you put the "who is there" also in quotations. Then use a comma to separate the speaker tag from the quotation and capitalize the first word of the quotation. So you always have to use a comma after the speaker's tag. So you use a comma to differentiate them, and then you put the first letter in capital letters. So just like the "we" here and "who," you have to put the W in capital letters to differentiate that, okay, this is the beginning of the quotation. So notice that the first thing that you do is put the quotation after the speaker tag, and then the quotation can come before the speaker tag also. So before you have the speaker's tag, you can also have the quotation. So it's like, "We can succeed by working together." So now "we can succeed by working together" comes first. That's the quotation. And then after you have the speaker's tag, which is the speaker declared. Okay, so you have the speaker declared after the quotation. "Who is there?" he demanded. So now take notes that if the quotation is coming, okay, unless the quotation ends with a question mark or exclamation point, separate it from the speaker tag with a comma. Do not capitalize the speaker tag unless it begins with a proper noun or the pronoun I. So now when the quotation comes first, if it is with unless it ends with a question mark or exclamation point, you have to separate it from the speaker tag with a comma. Now, you do not have to capitalize the next, which is the speaker tag. Unlike the first one, if the speaker tag is coming first, then you have to capitalize the quotation. And then if the quotation comes first before the speaker tag, you do not have to capitalize the speaker tag. All right, so you have to make sure that also the comma, if the quotation comes first, the comma should be inside the quotation. Do not put the comma outside, you put the comma inside the quotation. If it's a question mark, a period, anything, you make sure that you put it inside the quotation. Just like this, we have question mark, but the question mark is inside the quotation. So you have to make sure that you put everything inside the quotation. So now the quotation can be interrupted by the speaker tag. Also, it can be interrupted. So you can have like the first half of the quotation, and then you have the speaker tag in between, and then you have the last part of the quotation ending the sentence. So sometimes they can be separated, they can be interrupted, just like this. Okay, so use comma to separate the speaker tag from the quotation. Always remember that as long as there's a speaker tag coming before a quotation, the comma goes with the speaker tag. So you have the comma here. Do not capitalize the second part of the quotation. So because it's a continuation of the quotation, you do not have to capitalize it. But if it's just like the first one where you have the speaker tag first and then the quotation comes next, then yeah, sure, you can capitalize. But if it's separated, if it's divided, like this one interrupted, then you cannot put a capital letter to start the quotation. So also we have commas and periods always go inside closing quotation marks. Like I have said, hi everyone. Okay, so commas and periods would always go inside the closing quotation mark. Question marks and exclamation points should go inside only when they are part of the quotation. So remember that if you have a sentence and it's asking a question and you want to put it in a quotation. So for example, what's your name? That means the question mark is part of the question which says what is your name, so you have to put the question mark inside the quotation. But if they are separated, then you can put it outside, just like this. He paused and listened. Had he really heard someone reply, there's no one here? That's question. So the question mark is not part of the quotation, so you do not have to put it inside the quotation. You only put the question mark if it is part of the quotation. Okay? So if you have any questions, you can ask me questions also. Any question. So if you have any question, you can send your questions on the chat, okay? So here the question mark is not part of the quotation, so place it outside the closing quotation mark. No additional period is needed. So once you see, I'm not a new teacher, I'm just a substitute teacher for your live classes teacher, just substitute for today. Okay? So yeah. So we'll just go through and have some examples for this. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you some examples. So now these are gonna be some examples for the one with the speaker tag. So we can have, there's the one that I said, for example, you can have finally, there's a period here, okay? And then quotation, my mother rose to have feet. Then a period and your father is home. Okay. So now this one is the one that comes being interrupted. Okay. This is an example also of the quotations that comes that are interrupted, just like the one that we had here. We can succeed, the speaker declared, by working together. So that is an interrupted quotation. Okay. Then we can also have this one. She said, okay. So now this one first, is the speaker's tag. Okay. Then you go like this. People. Okay, so now this one is just like the first one we had here, whereby the speaker declared first. So the quotation comes after the speaker tag. Okay. Then we can also have, okay, so this one is, where are they now? Remember that if the question mark is part of the sentence, then you're gonna have it inside like this. She shouted. So this one is just very similar to the one we had here, that the quotation comes before the speaker tag. Okay. So we will just look at some questions before we move on to the test. Correct any errors in capitalization or punctuation. Your answer should be a single sentence. Okay, so it says astronaut Sally Ride remarked, all adventures, especially into new territories, are scary. Then we also have here, correct any errors, okay? Sir Francis Bacon remarked, in charity there is no excess. So you always have to make sure that the capitalized, the punctuation you're picking is the right one. Just from the tutorials that we've had, the explanation, you have to make sure that whatever you pick is the correct answer. While a tourist is one who merely passes through, the hotel manager explained, a traveler thrives on direct experience. So the hotel manager explained that a traveler thrives on direct experience. So yeah, we're just gonna move on to the test, and then we will try to answer the questions together. Please send in your answers also, so that we can interactive class. To correct any errors in capitalization or punctuation, your answer should be a single sentence. Children, Lady Bird Johnson cautioned, are likely to live up to what you believe of them. Children, Lady Bird Johnson cautioned, are likely to live up to what you believed of them. So if you were here and listening to me, please send in your answers what you think is the correct one. Is it the first one or the second one? Which is the correct one? The right answer. You can send in your answer if it's one or two. So you can just say, okay, so we have the second one. Okay. So we click in the second. Okay, good job. Thank you for your answer. The second was correct. So we'll go to the next. Also, it says, I have been meaning to ask, said the detective, whether you happen to write down the license plate of that stolen car. So you look at both of them and then tell me which one you think is the right answer. Which one do you think is the right answer? What is the right answer here? The second one also. Okay, good job, thanks. Then the best way to have a good idea, advise scientists and activists Linus Pauling, is to have lots of ideas. So yeah, what do you think here? What do you think is the right answer here? Okay, you can share your answers. The second also. All right. Okay. Then this one. Oh, okay. It's just one answer, so it's gonna be this one. Okay, option two. Okay, so I ask everyone to please send in an example using the right capitalization and punctuation. You can choose to either use the one that gets interrupted, or the one that has the speaker tag first, or the quotation first. So can you please send one example each, or one sentence each, either with the interrupted one or the one with speaker tag first, quotation first. Can you please make one sentences each so that I'm certain that you understand? Make one sentence each. I'm also gonna make mine here, and then we will have yours as well. So here, what do we have? One sentence each. I'm gonna put my first. A travel said Okay, so I have a sentence with the speaker tag first. The travel agent said our city is usually warm in the spring. So, do you have any examples yet? You can send in yours if you have any. And I also have the train to Maine. Okay, so this is one with the speaker tag spoken first, and then the other one has to be interrupted. So, do you, okay, we have one example here. It says, let's go. Let's go I said I was celebrating. Okay, good. So, do you have any more, guys? You can send in. This is a good word. Let's go. I said as I was celebrating. So that's also good. So this one has the quotation first before the continuation of the sentence. If you have any more, you can send also. Okay. When you have your answers, you can send them on the chat. So let's see. Okay, so as you're sending your answers, also we can continue answering the questions. So yeah, you can look at both sentences and tell me which one is correct. You also you always know you have learned something well. Vera said when you can teach it to some. So which is the correct one? Is it one or two? What's your answer here? One or two? Is it the first or the second one? You always know you've learned something well when Vera said when you can teach it to somebody else. So is it gonna be the first or the second one? What do we have? The second. Okay. Okay, that's great. And then while a tourist is one who merely passes through, the hotel manager explained a traveler thrives on on direct experience. So what's your answer here? You have anyone? The second. Okay, what's your answer for this one? What do you think is your answer? Okay. Is it gonna be the first or the second? So we can go with the first one. Don't judge me by my age and okay, yes, great, thanks. Don't judge me by my age and I won't yours, the gray-haired man said with a wink. So what's the answer to this one? What's the answer to this one? This one is gonna be what? The first. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the first is wrong. So remember that if you have any one wrong or if you click on the wrong answer, you do not have to start all over again. Just scroll down and you can read and get your explanation as to why you picked the wrong one. Okay? So this one, Poet Maya Angelou advised be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. What is gonna be the answer to this one? What's the answer to this one? The second. Okay. Okay, great. All right. So promise you will write to me as soon as you get there, implored Bruno. So what's gonna be the answer here? Promise you write to me as soon as you get there, implored by Bruno. So this is the first the second one. Um the second one. Okay. Okay, Sir Francis Bacon remarked, in charity there is no excess. What's your answer, yeah? Mm-hmm. And is it the first or the second one? What's your answer here? The second one? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we go with the second. So we've gotten up to page 10, and I would also like for you all to try to finish up the test, okay? But before we end anything, you can ask me any question on the chat concerning this. Feel free to ask me any questions. You can ask me any questions, and also you can make your sentences before we finish. Ask me any questions, and you can also make your sentences. Two. Okay. Man with two. Okay. So any questions you can say on the chat yes or no, depending. If you have no questions, you can say no. If you have a question, you can say yes. What are your questions? Do you guys have any first one? No questions. Okay. So if you have no questions, can you make a sentence just like something like this that we've done so far? Can you make a sentence before we end? Can you send in your sentences just like the ones that we have here? Just like this. Can you send your sentences? Can you send in your sentence before we end? Do you have any sentence to make? No questions. Okay, no questions. But make a sentence and then we can end. Okay, we have three. Just give two more sentences and you're yourself. How long is my sub? Oh. Okay, Fran said no question for today. Okay. Great. I played soccer. Okay, so I played one more to go. I played soccer with my friends. Okay. And we won. Okay, so one more sentence. The fifth one. What's your fifth one? One from the fifth. Mm-hmm. I went out with my friends and we ate. But silly X game, I do not see your quotation. So where's your quotation? Is it I went out with my friends? Okay. So yeah, that's it. And that's all for this lesson. We have only one lesson, so it's quite a very short one. So you try to finish up the test if you've not done it yet. And then we're gonna see. Okay. Have a good night, everyone, and bye.